Hey guys, Dean here. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can make money from home starting with zero investment. These are the best ways to make money from home with zero money. This means that it will work really well for both men and women and anyone at home who wants to start something from zero and build it up and break free from the 9-to-5 lifestyle. I've seen a lot of females, women, and even young women do a lot of work from home too, so this can also appeal to both genders. There's going to be quite a lot of different methods here which I haven't discussed in some of my other ones, so you're going to want to stick around and listen to all of them. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is a remote assistant. So what is a remote assistant? Well, a remote assistant basically does work online through something like a social media page. So you're basically working as a virtual worker. That's basically all it is. So for an example, you could manage social media pages like I mentioned initially, and you can respond to DMs. So if it's a business page receiving a lot of different requests or messages and questions, you basically manage that page and respond just like a support rep. You could reply to emails like business emails or take business calls throughout the day and basically do everything for a business or a business's social media to basically keep it flowing smoothly. So you're basically a virtual worker maintaining the company's image via their different pages or different avenues. This is usually around a $20 an hour kind of job, and it's pretty lucrative, and it's really nice because it's kind of like you're working a normal job, and if you're still in that mindset of working for someone else, it's still an option that allows you to work from home or somewhere else and still have a stable income and job. This is also a really great starting point for people who are trying to pull away from working for someone else and kind of test the water, so to speak, what it's like working away from a workplace. Now you can apply for these basically on different freelance websites or different job searching websites like Upwork, Indeed, or Virtual Assistant. Now the next one is stock footages and video. Now creating stock footage is something which you're probably only going to do if you're invested in things like photography, videography, and that's one of your passions. So basically, if you're really good with a camera and you like to record videos or take a lot of photos, this can be a really good line of work. So for an example, I used to do photography in college and I used to do filmmaking, so this was something I was interested in quite a while ago. Now I didn't decide to try this because I obviously used the avenue of YouTube, but selling stock footage and stock video is actually a really good method to actually make money online. Now let me explain how you do that and why it's so good. So basically, if you've already been taking a lot of different photos and been doing photography for a while now, you'll probably already have a really big extensive library of photos and videos which you can actually use already. This is great. If you haven't, then no problem, you can go and build up that library and start taking a lot of different photos and videos. And if you're already traveling, or if you have seasons across the year where you go on holiday to different places, taking photos in different places or more exotic places can also be great too, because these are the images that people might not be able to obtain or take themselves. So the idea for this is basically to sell your images on websites like Shutterstock, iStock, and other stock footage websites for people who either don't have the time to source them or want to outsource different pictures and videos to legally use copyright free in their video material, like commercials, YouTube videos, or different projects which they can't obtain. So a lot of people buy these online or the rights to these images and videos so they use them. You can see this in a lot of different YouTube videos where you see maybe a clip of a woman talking on the phone, for an example. That is an example of stock footage. So basically you're selling a license for other people to use your material to then use in their production content. This works for both photos and video, and a lot of influencers and YouTubers use a lot of this footage. So creating stock video is really also good for this too, rather than just stock photos. In fact, I'd almost recommend actually prioritizing stock video if you want to do more sales, but both can get you a nice passive income. Now, of course, this is just like YouTube, where you have to build up a library of videos and photos over the course of time to increase the chance of getting more revenue and obviously getting a decent yield of passive income. You can't just upload 10 photos and hope to make an average salary. You're gonna have to create thousands and build up a library over time, and all of those images and videos in that library will passively get purchased if they're high quality and if there's demand for it, and then you'll build up a nice amount of money coming in. So the next one is babysitting and pet sitting too. So this mainly applies to women and younger women if it's babysitting, But also if it's pet sitting, literally anyone can do it. So as for the first one, which is mainly just a female job, if you have neighbors who have a baby or a young child and maybe you are a trusted neighbor, then you can go and babysit them and get a nice little amount of money per session for doing it every single week. If they're out of town for a few days, or if it's date night and they want to go out to dinner and they need someone to look after their child, and if you're a woman, you obviously can babysit and then get a nice amount of money each week from doing this. This is mainly a recommended job for younger people because obviously this amount of money is usually quite low and it's a nice first job to actually have. As for pet sitting, literally anyone can do that because all people can obviously be trusted to look after a pet as long as you're not a psycho. And if it's something like a bird, you can just look after it in your own home and just feed it a little bit, and it's very low maintenance for basically easy money. But if it's something like a dog, you might actually have to do dog walking. Now, dog walking is also unique too, because what you can do with this is you could go around the neighborhood and you could ask to walk more than one dog. So this is kind of a little bit of a life hack for you. You could walk 4 or 5 dogs at the same time, assuming you have a pretty decent amount of strength and you know what you're doing, and you could walk all the dogs at the same time, and then you're gaining 4 or 5 different amounts of money from the different owners all at the same time. And you could do this once a week or maybe a few times a week, and you get a nice little amount of money from this. Of course, these 2 jobs are mainly just for younger people because you probably won't make that much money, but these are obviously different methods that everyone can employ. So the next one is a little bit similar to the first one we mentioned, which was the virtual assistant doing social media, but this is more so social media consultancy. So this is basically great for people who have knowledge in social media to actually share. So if you're skilled in social media and online businesses which are centered around social media, this can be a gig which will be really useful for you. You're basically advising a person, a business, or some kind of business person on how to utilize and leverage these platforms for their own personal gain. And of course, using your own social media platforms, if they're already quite large, or to grow them at the same time to promote your service and business this way is also really useful too. And this means that basically it's cost free to promote your own services. And you can meet with people physically, or you can also meet with people virtually and do things like virtual calls to sit down and talk business and basically consult them. This is why this is included in the category of working from home, because you can do this all from the computer. And this also enables you to consult people in different countries like America for an example, and teach them how to do social media and basically help them manage their pages and promote themselves and give them advice on growth. The next one is freelance writing. So this is for people who are writers. Maybe you're really good at writing books or articles, or you've studied English in university for an example and want some kind of outlet to use that in your spare time to actually create money. So basically, if you have the ability to create high quality articles, this can be for blogs, this could be for reviews for an example, you can establish some kind of online portfolio of your writing, which the perfect example for this is just to make a blog and then write from there, which we're going to mention a little bit later, because this is basically a website full of your articles which people can then read and look at as an example. This is usually how journalists get better jobs, because people refer to their articles on their previous jobs or websites, and then obviously they can see that they're high quality. Creating highly procured written content and writing good quality articles is something which a lot of people want, especially big websites who are always looking for different authors to actually write for them. You can market yourself this way and write for other websites or projects via freelance websites, and this is a really awesome thing you can do. A lot of websites, they obviously have a ton of employees, but a lot of big blogs, they actually outsource freelance writers to create articles for them too. So this is something you could easily do from home. And along with writing, that leads us on to proofreading and copywriting, which are 2 big things which are very useful and lucrative too. This is mainly for avid readers, so not just writers, but people who have done a lot of reading books for an example over the course of time and know the structure of English very well and grammar. If you're good with grammar and you can spot grammatical errors, this could be very good for you too. It's basically proofreading different documents, blog articles, and any written content or book contents, such as a manuscript for a potential future book which is going to be published, and check it for errors, grammatical problems and inconsistencies to basically prepare it to be published. You'd be surprised how many people look for good copywriters and proofreaders. This is a very valuable one, and the potential money from is very high. So the next one is selling your old possessions. Now, I mentioned this previously in other videos before, but I think it's such a good one that literally anyone can do, and you can create some good money from this. business. So what this involves is basically selling your old possessions which you no longer want, or if you're trying to be more of a minimalist, getting rid of a lot of them and selling them on online marketplaces. This could be anything from eBay to Etsy, but more so things like eBay because Etsy is more like new products, and selling them on websites like eBay and Facebook Marketplace primarily. This is really good because there's a lot of people looking for old stuff to either resell or basically to have for themselves, so your junk can be someone else's treasure. So this is a good way to resell it and recoup a little bit of the cost which you originally spent on it instead of throwing it away and making nothing, which of course nobody wants to do if they can leverage some kind of profit. So I'm going to give you an example how you can apply this and what I personally did. So when I moved house to our newer house, before I basically went off on my own, I wanted to get rid of a lot of different possessions that I used to have. Now the main one for this was a lot of old Lego which I couldn't transport to the new house and didn't have much space for. I collected a lot of Lego as a kid. Obviously I really liked Lego, but I couldn't find a place to put it and I wasn't really using it for a long time, so I thought I don't want to throw this away because it's high quality stuff. So I put it on eBay, sold it for a fraction of the original cost because it was obviously used, and I made a pretty decent profit selling specifically the small Lego minifigures and figures and parts and pieces from all the sets and any full sets which I actually owned which had all the pieces and instructions intact. But along with this you could also do this for the same for old games consoles, video games for those consoles, childhood toys, furniture, and any kind of household possessions which you can resell online. The next one is print on demand, and I think this is really good and it's kind of underrated, and you might see a lot of people talking about this. So this is mainly things like t-shirt design and producing clothing and articles of clothing, but it does involve a little bit of graphical design, although if you're not very good at graphical design you can go on websites like Fiverr or Freelance and get graphics designers to make you unique designs. Basically you can find a manufacturer or supplier and customize products to create a white label brand. You can then sell anything from t-shirts, bags, mugs, any kind of merchandise or clothing items, and then sell them on. This works really good if you use the website Merch by Amazon, which is a really good method of selling t-shirts, and you can utilize something which is very similar to Amazon FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, where you send all of your products to them, they hold them in the warehouse and then handle all the delivery for you. So this is low risk, the designs don't really cost too much to make, and you can experiment with a lot of products very easily, and it requires a little less investment than some of the others, although you might need to actually purchase some quantity of your products first to hold them in a warehouse and also to test them out to make sure they're good quality. Of course you could also use the website Teespring or some kind of merch website, but they'll usually take a large cut, but it's also nice because they do handle shipping and everything. But if you do have a bit to invest, I'd recommend doing Merch by Amazon because they'll still handle all the logistics, but you'll get a higher percentage of the profits. Next up is start a blog. So we mentioned writing and creative writing earlier. Well, this is something which you can actually apply it to. Now, creating a blog is really nice because not only can you use it as an example for your written content later if you want to go into that avenue too, but a blog can be monetized in a few different ways. So there's a few different categories of blogs which seem to do really well. So I'm going to list a few of those niches. Of course, you are kind of battling with oversaturation here, but that's just like everything else, and you can succeed in any market if you try and battle to either be the best or offer some kind of unique value. So first of all, you have a food blog. Those work really well. A travel blog, which works really well too, and something like a lifestyle blog, for an example. But something like a cooking blog is also very, very useful to make. Most people who read blogs is more of a higher female demographic, so anything which appeals to the female demographic is usually something which is going to be more successful. But something like personal development could appeal to both women and men, and that could be a good crossover. So basically you can write high quality articles on this blog and then leverage SEO, which is short for search engine optimization, to rank your blog high in Google, which may take a long time or some work, and by accumulating high quality articles with good keywords and some trend-based ones. And if you want to go a step further, you could also create videos which are corresponding to the topic of these blog articles, or a video basically making the blog into video form, and then embed these on the blogs too. And then the next step, what you want to do is you want to add the Google Ads plugin, or just generally Google Ads, to your blog to have ads on your website that when people click these ads, you'll gain money from it. And then you can also use YouTube ads, Google AdSense, on your YouTube videos and get money from those too. So you have Google ads on 2 different forms of media, which is going to get you money. The only problem about building a website is you are going to have to take some time to launch it and get it off the ground and get people to visit it. But if you do video at the same time, it expedites the process and gives you 2 streams of income, which is really nice. Then creating video reviews is one that I'd also recommend. So the next one is video reviews. Now, the reason why I think that video reviews is really powerful is because you can review a very popular product or a very good quality product. For an example, this microphone here. And if I would be making a video on reviewing this microphone, why it's good, why it's bad, why I'd recommend it, which obviously I'd recommend review a product which you actually like, because then you can encourage people to buy it. Then you could make a video on this product, explain the pros for the product and why people should buy it. Put ads on the video, which you're already going to get money from the ads, but take it a step further and put an affiliate link in the description of the video, and then make a call to action in the video to tell people to click the link and then buy the product if they're interested in it. So what they'll then do is, if they make a purchase from your affiliate link, which I'd recommend to use Amazon affiliates for this, then you'll get a percentage through Amazon for that product sale and any sales connected to that initial sale. Keep building up a library of reviews which become more popular, and if the videos are high quality, people will most likely make purchases from you when they know, like, and trust you. So if you have more followers, this is going to work better, and then you can make some really good money from video reviews or just Amazon affiliates using this exact formula. So the next one's going to appeal to people who are really good at art, people who like drawing, making digital or physical art, because creatives always need a way to make money from their art, and I want to appeal to those people too, because I'm a creative myself, although not specifically mainly in art, although I am quite good at drawing. So I'm going to talk about art here. So if you're really good at art and drawing, one way that you can monetize that passion is to do commissioned work. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. So to begin with this, I'd recommend starting 3 different social media channels: an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter account. So those 3 main social medias, and make it specifically related to your art. You can use your personal page too, but you don't want it to be mixed up with all the other clutter that you post, so it's best just to make a page specifically for this business. Then what you want to do is sell your art on Fiverr.com as well. Fiverr.com basically lets you sell your art to different people looking on the website, and you can do different jobs or gigs on there. So you can sell art for concept drawing, sell art of portraiture, drawing people's portraits for an example, and all these different things, and sell different types of art or different types of graphics which people will search for. Then you can use your websites, which I initially mentioned, so Instagram specifically is good for this, to create a portfolio of examples of all of your work. So when you do a commissioned piece for someone, post that as an image on Instagram, and people can see the quality of what kind of work that you do and what type of art you do, for an example. And obviously in your bios on all your social media, tell people if they want commissioned work or a drawing from you that you're selling it, and market yourself that it's a business and you will draw for people if they buy a piece off you. So then people will DM you or message you if you obviously mention it and tell them to, and then obviously you can sell your art through social media this way. I'd recommend starting by selling it really cheap, just so you can build up the amount of customers, the good things said about you, and just to build up your portfolio. Even starting off for free and doing drawings for people for free just to build up that library will be good in the long run, because you can expand your library that people can see, and then more people will obviously want to purchase off you. And then the last one I'm going to mention is just general freelancing. So this encapsulates literally every kind of job which you can do remotely online. So websites like freelancer.com and Amazon's Mechanical Turk are probably the best websites for this that I'd recommend. These websites let you find jobs that different companies and people outsource to their service to look for freelancers to fulfill them for them. These could be anything from graphical design jobs to tagging different images, proofreading articles like we mentioned earlier, video transcribing, and other types of jobs which are useful. These are great places to just generally find online work which is accustomed to your specific talents and niche. If you have some extra time, or if you want to create some extra money from what you're good in, I'd really recommend these different platforms. And of course, that's going to close out this video on how to make money from home with zero initial investment. You can check out the links in the description below to check out a few different videos I made on passive income sources and different small businesses you can start from home, which offer a few different examples not mentioned here. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any other jobs or useful small businesses you can start for cheap, which I forgot to feature here. And also if you have any past experiences running any of these types of businesses, comment any advice or stories of success down below too, because I'd be really interested to read those. If you found any value in this, do drop a like on the video and subscribe, because I'm posting a lot of valuable business videos and personal finance content on this channel, as well as things like travel guides and vlogs. Thanks for watching.